in the mountains still to come in the 80th Giro d'Italia. And as we look at the overall, Giuseppe Guerini is now third. The news reaching us, in fact, that Leblanc retired halfway through the stage. So we now go on to the 20th stage. 3 stages left to go. The riders now finishing right up here on the Passo del Tonale at the end of some 176 kilometres. A tough day's racing indeed.
Very tough day's racing, and again a chance for Ivan Gotti to try and extend his lead over the man Pavel Tonkov. The leading group got away very early on and built up a maximum lead of over 12 minutes on the pink jersey group. And all of the time, Pavel Tonkov quite happy to stay in the group there with Ivan Gotti.
But also Chepe González, Paul, is having a tremendous ride through the mountains here in this leading group as well. And Evgeny Berzin finally putting in appearance in a breakaway. Berzin, by the way, he's still 22nd overall in this race, but he's 40 minutes and 20 seconds behind.
Strange performance by him to look for small breakaways like this to try and get himself a stage victory. The man really is enigmatic. One day he's up and the next day he's down.
Well, there's the big field now, and they must all be thinking that Gotti is going to win the Giro d'Italia because he is now leading by such big margins over the field. Now one attack here trying to get away off the front of the group, and this looks like it might be Podenzana having a dig again.
Got a very good Tour of Italy. 26 in the overall standings, a long way down. He was 7th in the Tour of Italy in 1994, but I think much more liberated in this year's Tour of Italy by the fact that Marco Pantani had to withdraw because of that crash. And now a reaction coming here from Gianni Bugno, a man we haven't really seen a lot of in the Tour of Italy this year, and another enigmatic performer because he really has been a great champion in the past, but I think now seeing one of his last few seasons out.
And just look where he is overall, 2.5 hours behind the leader and about to be collected by the main field. But this is the sharp end of the field here now, and Chepe González again today has helped himself to a few points. He was second over the Passo del Mendola after 104 kilometres behind Podenzana. In fact, the breakaway was already on, and the pink jersey at that stage nearly 15 minutes back.
You can see there on the arm of the second place rider Pavel Tonkov a little plaster starting to appear. It could well be that he's having a little problem with tendinitis due to one of the crashes he had earlier on, and also the crash he had earlier in the season, which gave him a very badly injured wrist.
And because of the little broken bones he's had around the scaphoid region, he might well be feeling some pressure there now as the Tour has gone on for the best part of 3 weeks, and these are the toughest stages. And asked little Chepe González how he's enjoying his Tour of Italy, and he'll tell you, very much indeed. 9 kilometres to go now for González and Podenzana. They've got together.
Pink jersey very firmly now on the shoulders of Ivan Gotti, following the man who's his closest challenger.
And look at this, Paul, further up the mountain, Chepe González, he can't contain his enthusiasm. He has shed Podenzana. There's no way that Podenzana will match this little climber once he gets going. And there's not a lot of reaction coming from behind at the moment, although that field also is beginning to split up. But Gotti now is just riding so well. Back up with the leader.
Well, Chepe González is quite remarkable. As soon as the road tilts upwards, he goes out on the attack, and it's great to see the Colombians back because over the last couple of years, Phil, they really have been in the doldrums.
Well, you know, the last Colombian rider I think won a stage of the Tour of Italy was Oliveira Rincon, and that goes back to 1995. 4 kilometres out now, and Chepe González about to update the record books, I think, because they're not going to come too close to him.
The face of Pavel Tonkov is really one of concentration at the moment, just trying to keep his second place comfortable. He realises that this final climb up to the finish could put him into danger again.
Well, we're up to the snow line now at the Passo del Tonale. And Gotti won't be worried too much about little González. 1 kilometre to go. He checks over his shoulder to see if he can see the wily old Massimiliano Podenzana coming up, but I don't think he will now.
Tonkov trying there, but it wasn't really a full concerted effort. I think he just thought he needed to try because he's lying in second place in the overall standings, but it really was half-hearted.
And another great day through the mountains, and another day he can tick off when he gets into his hotel tonight. Ivan Gotti, everything's gone his way. He's having absolutely no trouble. The retirement of Luc Leblanc, really very sad indeed, but he couldn't go on with those injuries. Let's hope he gets himself ready for the Tour de France. But it's amazing how Polti have found themselves a replacement in Giuseppe Guerini, who now holds Leblanc's third place overall.
was quite remarkable over the first few days of the Tour of Italy here. He was in fact riding as the protector for Luc Leblanc, and he rode so well that he accompanied him on all the mountain stages and rode himself now up into third place.
The personal battle then, 1, 2, 3 in the Giro d'Italia. They're lower down the slopes, while meanwhile at the top, little Chepe González becomes the 7th Colombian to win a stage of the Giro d'Italia. As he comes up to the line, he has really deserved this victory because he's ridden so well in this Tour. He has ridden so well in the mountains. He has an almost unassailable lead in the King of the Mountains competition, which has been the domain of Piccoli for the past 2 years. Now Chepe González gets the stage win. Meanwhile, further down the mountain, the real leaders of the Tour of Italy are continuing their game. Here comes Podenzana. He gets second over the line, and the 1 minute 43 already ticked by there. And so that means this group is still a fair way behind here, as taking them through is Tonkov.
Well, Tonkov trying again, but all the time he has a shadow, and the shadow has a pink jersey on its shoulders, and that's Ivan Gotti. Gotti looking very comfortable, more comfortable as we get towards the end of the Tour of Italy than he did at the start. I never would have put his name down as one of the challengers, because everybody felt certain that the man who was going to walk away with a second victory was the man at the front now in blue, Pavel Tonkov.
Because he looked so good in those early days, and coming into this race with a good victory in the Tour of Romandy, I think everybody would have gone down the betting shop and put a few bob on him. But anyway, they might have lost it, because it looks now as though Gotti has this race nicely stitched up. This is the strong group that's here now all around them, but they're still over 7 minutes behind González, who has finished. He's taking quite a slice of time now, but he won't really challenge the top 10 overall. He might, with a bit of luck, Paul, scraping around 10th.
He may well do, but a man caught in the middle of all this fighting is Evgeny Berzin. He managed to get across the line in 8th place.
Well, this is the group coming in now, containing all the top riders on the overall, and in fact they're approaching 10 minutes now since the arrival of González. Here's the sprint. Conti in the white crash helmet going to have a little go for it, I think. As he starts the sprint, the pink jersey of Ivan Gotti still got plenty of fight in him as well. But it's going to be a formality, I think, for Conti. And on the far right is Noah, who's still right up there on the overall, and in fact Noah gets it right on the line. He'll be just ahead of Gonchar and Gotti and Conti. There's the result of the stage though, the rest of the breakaway finishing.